Hey everyone, it's Tony with For Money. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the Top Flite Chipper. Stay tuned. I purchased a giant lot of golf stuff. And in that lot of golf stuff was 150 of these Top Flite Chippers. 150. My first impression was, wow, I got 150 of these Top Flite Chippers. They retail for $50 a piece. That's a lot of value. That's $7,500 in just those clubs. Men's, women's, left and right, very excited. And then I realized, oh my God, I have 150 of these clubs. Men's, women's, left and right. What am I going to do? Top Flite is very good at making complete sets. The bag, the clubs, everything out the door. And they don't really make one-off clubs. Like, they don't really make single drivers or single putters or single wedges. They normally stick to the complete sets, which a lot of people love because they just want to get into golf. And Top Flite makes these great bargain sets that are actually pretty good. So the men's is called a Top Flite Gamer Tour Chipper, and the women's is called a Top Flite Flawless Chipper. Now, the face of them has this kind of soft looking feel on the, I don't know what material it is, but I guess it kind of gives a good bounce off the ball. But the men's and women's are pretty much the same, except for the length. The length is a little bit shorter on the women's, just ever so slightly, just a bit. But nonetheless, they're almost the same club. The women's is a graphite, I believe, and the men's is a steel. So I want to quickly read for you what the manufacturer's website says about these Top Flite chippers. It says, simplify your short game with a Top Flite Gamer Tour Chipper, designed to act as an alternative to wedges for use on shorter chip shots. The Gamer Tour Chipper features a perimeter-weighted cavity bag geometry for higher moment of inertia and forgiveness. A thermoplastic urethane face. Okay, that's what I was saying. A thermoplastic urethane face with proprietary face groove pattern optimizes feel and spin for exceptional control around the green. A wide sole design promotes clean turf interaction for consistency. So the specs on it are 45-degree loft, which is very similar to a pitching wedge, maybe a little less than a pitching wedge, and the length is about 35 inches is what it says. Some of the reviews on here, it's a 4.4 out of 5, which is pretty good. Some of the reviews say, my chipper's in my set. I'm glad I bought it. Don't know what took me so long. For 50 bucks, it's a great price. Effective for me around 5 to 7 yards. This other reviewer says works great under 50 yards, which is a bit long. And then one guy says here he can hit it 100 yards. So he's probably using it as an alternative to a pitching wedge. So nonetheless, people like it. Maybe people just don't know about it. So basically what a chipper is, it's like a lofted putter, right? A putter kind of pretty much has this weight behind it, but this one's lofted. So if you're about 5 to 30 yards away from the green, you can use this club. And it helps you get the ball up in the air. It kind of prevents you from chunking the ball. If you kind of hit the ground here, and then you take the grass first and then hit the ball, or if you hit it thin, you kind of hit the middle of the ball, and then you hit the ground after. So this club kind of helps prevent that. It's very forgiving according to the manufacturer, and that's pretty much what chippers are. They are an alternative to a club like this. So this is a conventional wedge. This is my Callaway 56-degree wedge, and this club is an alternative to using a wedge like this. This wedge is very thin, very narrow, and not as forgiving as one of these chippers. So hence the reason why people like to use these chippers, because they're very forgiving. And good question, why don't professionals use them? Well, because professionals are probably good with this club, and they don't need the help of this club. Nonetheless, let's take it out to the golf course. Let's go give it a few swings and let's see how it performs. I'm pretty anxious, so let's go. So I wasn't able to get out to the golf course today, so I'm here in an open area by my house, and I set up 3 little golf clubs without the heads, just the shaft. I got one at 5 yards, 10 yards, and 20 yards. There's another one at 40 that you can't see, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So with me, I have 3 clubs. I've got the top Flite Chipper, the one that we're going to be reviewing today. And I bought 2 other clubs, the pitching wedge, which is the same loft as the chipper. And then I brought this 56-degree Callaway wedge that most people would use in this situation. I'm going to be hitting 3 balls to each target with each club, and then I'm going to talk about it, okay? Alright, I'm going to hit the 56 first. Alright, now I got the pitching wedge. Alright, now I'm going to hit the chipper, which is the same loft as the wedge. My initial impressions of this club are that it felt very soft coming out. It felt very soft coming off the face. And the other 2 clubs that I hit, because the face is steel and this is that softer material, this felt very soft, very soft. And I didn't get a lot of feedback. I know we can't really see the spin, but when the ball was coming off of this, it didn't feel like there was a lot of spin coming off. It felt like it was more of a push. So it was going to be a lot of bump and a lot of run, not a lot of spin. Maybe that's just because it's close distance. Now I'm going to try to shoot for the 10. I got the 56 on me. Back. I got the pitching wedge now. Alright, now I'm going to go for the chipper. See, I'm used to the way those clubs sound. This club, let's see. Yeah, it feels very soft. This one felt like it was doing a little bit better because I could swing it with enough speed, and it felt like I could control it more actually than I did with the other 2 clubs. The other 2 clubs, I like the feel of it, but this one, it felt like at that 10-yard mark, like it was pretty good. The softness, you know, it wasn't a deterrent for me anymore. It sounded pretty cool, but I don't know. Let's try for that 20-yard mark. I got the 56 again. Remember, this is the club most people would use in this distance. Alright, that felt pretty good. For this distance, I mean, this feels very familiar. Alright, now let me go for the pitching wedge. Very low loft. Now let me use this chipper now. it didn't feel as good hitting it towards 20 yards because when you get a little closer, so it feels like a putter. It feels like about the length of a putter. I believe it was 35 inches, and it feels like a lofted putter when you're looking at it at a distance. These clubs I'm used to. When you're looking at it here, like you kind of stand a little further and you choke up on it. This club, it feels like a putter. It's locked, and it doesn't feel normal hitting it 20-30 yards. Now I'm going to try to hit towards that 40-yard mark. I feel pretty good about hitting the 56 at that distance. The pitching wedge, not so much, and the chipper, we'll see. That feels about right, alright? Let's try the pitching wedge. Alright, let's try the top flight. Remember on the reviews we saw some people saying that they hit this thing 50 yards, even 100 yards. So I don't feel good at swinging this thing that hard, but let's see what happens. Yeah, this feels weird, guys. I feel like I'm swinging a putter very hard just because of how it sits at a dress. Like, it just feels weird. Can you grab me that one with the black grip? So here's the pitching wedge, and the wedge feels like I can stand pretty far back from it. This one feels like I have to putt it, which is very interesting. Anyway, let me hit some 40-yard shots with this one. Yeah, it rolled out a little further than the pitching wedge. It doesn't feel like there's any spin coming off of this thing. It feels like it's just pushing the ball. Like it's not trying to like dig into it. It's like a push. Yeah, once it lands, it feels like, because it's so low, that it's just gonna roll forever. I mean, you normally wouldn't use this club at that distance. People in the reviews saying they were, but that doesn't feel right. 5 to 10 yards, maybe 20, yes. Let me try to hit a couple off of the grass like this with the top Flite Chipper. Let's kind of see what it feels like. So you might have a lie like this. I'm gonna go towards that 10-yard little stake. You see, I hit that about 3 inches fat, and the ball came out really good. Maybe it's meant for more ground like this where it's very forgiving. If I would have hit that shot with this club, the ball would have gone like 3 yards. But because I hit it with this, it just dug right through the grass. Let me see that again. That was interesting. Let me try that again. Yeah, same response. And that's because I hit the ball first. Alright, so that one was fat, the first one. The second one was good. I'm going to try to hit this one thin. See if I can get it. Yeah, not so much. I probably hit it too high on the club, too high on the ball. But nonetheless, I was very surprised with that one hitting off the ground. It was a fat shot, but it still went pretty good. It already feels uncomfortable at 40, but for the sake of swinging a golf club as hard as I can without hitting it to the cars, let's give it a shot. That landed about 50 yards, and that was like a 40%
70% swing. No spin. I feel like there's no spin, it's just a push. You want to get this one over the fence. That one landed about 5 yards over the fence. That was about a 70%, 60% swing, and it carried about 85 yards. I'm not going to try to hit it any further because I might hit a car, but I would say swinging this club any harder would feel very uncomfortable. I wouldn't recommend it for anything past maybe 30 yards. It's not intended for that because of the way it sits at address. It's only meant to just be swung at 10, maybe 30-40%. Just a nice little chunk. Just a nice bump. All right, let me try to hit a couple off the grass harder than 10 yards. That's a lot of rollout. But it didn't feel that bad, but it still feels like I'm swinging it harder than I should. Yeah, the rollout's okay. That's the intent of a bump and run. All right, last one. Those are landing about 20-30 yards. Yeah, I hit that one about 3 inches fat. Look at this club face. Look how much grass I got on that last shot, and it still went about 20 yards. So I think it's pretty forgiving when you hit it fat. Maybe not when you hit it thin, because look at the leading edge. The leading edge is very narrow, so I don't think it favors thin shots. But the fat shots, it just cut right through the grass and got that ball up in the air. I recommend it for people who have issues using a 56 or a pitching wedge or a 9 in this close range. But if you're having issues getting the ball on the green from this proximity, definitely get yourself a chipper. Nonetheless, it's a neat little club. I wouldn't feel comfortable swinging it further than 80 yards. I don't feel comfortable swinging it even 40 yards. 5 to 20, it's not bad. Alright guys, thanks for watching this review. I had a lot of fun doing it, guys. See you next time.